This is case number 21-161494. This is Credit Acceptance Corporation versus Alicia Evans. The matter is before the court, set for a hearing after entry of a default. The record should reflect that the defendant did not respond to the complaint, and the court entered the default and then set it on for hearing. For the defendant to show cause as to why the judgment should not enter at this time. Your appearance for credit acceptance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Alexander Popov appearing on behalf of plaintiff.
All right, thank you, counsel. Good morning to you. This matter is set on for 10 o'clock a.m. It's now 10:15. I'm looking now for Alicia Evans. Alicia Evans, a person living on Chatsworth Street in the city of Detroit. If you're on the Zoom, please say something at this time. Record should reflect that the court did send a notice to the defendant at the address provided, and the defendant has not appeared. The correct Zoom address is noted on that notice that was sent out December the 3rd. Where the defendant has not appeared, the court will now enter the judgment by default on the terms as prayed. The default will now enter for a total amount of $10,623.97. I have received the proposed order and I'm signing that order at this time. Thank you, counsel. Good copy of the bill, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The court now calls case number 21-160396. This is Jefferson Capital Systems LLC versus Cheyenne Walker. The matter is before the court on the application for entry of default judgment. The record should reflect that the default of defendant was entered on the 3rd of December, where the defendant failed to respond to the complaint or otherwise defend in this matter. The court set the matter on for a hearing at this time for the defendant to show cause as to whether or not the judgment should, or why the judgment should not enter. Your appearance with Jefferson Capital Systems at this time.
Good morning, Your Honor. May it please the court, Suzanne Strickhartz, P44018 on behalf of the plaintiff.
Good morning to you, Ms. Strickhartz. I'm looking now for Ms. Cheyenne Walker. This matter is set on for 10:05. It is now 10:17. It looks like Ms. Walker on Washington Street in the city of Detroit. Looks like Ms. Walker has not appeared for this hearing. She did not appear with regard to the underlying case. For that reason, the court will go ahead and enter the judgment by default at this time on the terms as prayed. The judgment will now enter for a total sum of $680.62. I have received the proposed judgment and the order is signed at this time. Thank you, Madam Counsel. We'll get that out.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
Great day to you. The court now calls case number 21-158-733. This is Security Credit Union versus Clarence Metals. The matter is before the court on an application for entry of default judgment. The record should reflect that the court entered the default of the defendant in this matter where the defendant did not respond to the underlying complaint and set this matter on for show cause as to why the judgment should not enter. And a notice was sent to the defendant with the correct Zoom address on that document. Your appearance for Security Credit, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Wesley on behalf of Security Credit Union, P number 80307.
Thank you, Mr. Wesley. Good morning, Mr. Gill, I'm sorry. And good morning to you. I'm looking now for Clarence Metals or someone representing Metals. Clarence Metals, a person living on Woodmont Street in Detroit. It does appear that that person has not appeared for this hearing. The matter is set on for 10:10. It is now 10:19. And I have no response from the defendant. Accordingly, the judgment will now enter by default on the terms as prayed by the plaintiff. I have received a proposed judgment. The total amount is $6,551.84. It's now signed into the court. Thank you. Also, you got a copy to the mail, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm calling now 21-158-713. This is Public Service Credit Union versus Shanta Gantz, Gantz. The matter is before the court after entry of a default in this matter. This is an application for entry of default judgment. The defendant did not respond to the underlying complaint in this matter. The court then sent out a notice of entry of default judgment. That notice was sent on the 3rd of December with the correct Zoom address. Counsel, your appearance for public service.
Good morning, Your Honor. Weston O'Neill on behalf of Public Service Credit Union, P number 80307.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel, I'm now looking for Shanta Gantz. And Ms. Gantz, if you're on the Zoom or anyone representing Ms. Gantz, please say something at this time. Ms. Gantz is a person that reportedly lives on Archdale Street in the city of Detroit. It does appear now that the defendant has not appeared for this hearing. It was set for 10:15. It is now 10:21. Given that the defendant has not appeared and did not defend the underlying matter, the court will now enter the judgment by default on the term displayed. I have received a copy of the proposed judgment. The judgment will now enter for $16,069.77. I signed that order. Counsel received a copy in the mail.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a good morning.
Likewise. The court now calls for case number 21-158520. This is Capital One Bank versus Margaret Dandridge. Matter is before the court on the application for entry of judgment by default. The record should reflect that the defendant did not respond to the underlying complaint in this matter. The court entered the default on the 3rd of December. Also on the 3rd of December of 2021, the court sent out a notice regarding the application entry of default judgment, and the hearing was set on for today's date. I reviewed the notice. It has the correct Zoom address. Counsel, your appearance for Capital One Bank, please. Capital One Bank. Do I have Margaret Dandridge on the Zoom? Margaret Dandridge, a person living on Riot Street in the city of Detroit. Matter set on for 10:15 a.m. It is now 10:22. The defendant did not appear in the underlying matter and is now here for this hearing. The plaintiff has submitted its application for entry of judgment. The total judgment amount is $4,809.68. The court will sign the judgment at this time. The court now calls case number 21-158333. This is the Way Home Realty versus Angela Walker. The matter is before the court, set on for an application for entry of default judgment. The record should reflect that a default was entered in this matter on the 3rd of December 2021, when the defendant did not respond to the complaint in this matter, has not otherwise defended. Accordingly, the court did set today's date as a hearing on the application for entry of the default judgment.
Good morning, Your Honor. Randy Levasseur, P41712. I'm appearing on behalf of plaintiff. We would move for entry of the judgment.
Right, and I reviewed the reports filed in this matter, and I see that the defendant faxed over something to the court on the 4th of February, strike at 4th of January. Just one moment.
We are not in receipt of that, Your Honor.
Well, let the record reflect that the documents that were sent to me are documents that report to show various conditions that are found, and also point out that there was not a certificate of occupancy that attaches to these. Significantly, the documents sent to the court were sent in January. The default was in December. No no action has been taken to set aside the default. Moreover, the court sent out a notice regarding today's hearing. The matter set on for 10/20. Correct Zoom address was provided as well, and it looks like the defendant has not appeared for this hearing. Defendant is in default. I heard counsel for the plaintiff say that they did not receive any documents in January. Is that correct, Mr. Lavaster?
That is correct, Your Honor. We were completely unaware that she had responded in any way to this action.
All right. Under the circumstances, that response would not be accepted by the court, given the fact that the time to respond had long expired. The defendant would have to seek to have the default set aside before taking any action in this matter. Moreover, the defendant is not here. Accordingly, the court will enter the judgment now by default, finding that there's usually a sum of $14,528.68. The judgment is now entered. Copies will be disseminated by mail.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Counsel. Good day to you, sir. Good to see
You as well. Good seeing you.
The court now calls case number 21-158-094. This is Discover Bank versus Naz Al Harani. That's ALDHARHANI. That is before the court on an application for entry of default judgment. Record should reflect for this matter on the 3rd of December, when the defendant did not respond to or otherwise defend regarding the complaint in this matter. The court subsequently set the matter over for hearing on today's date, sending a notice out on the 3rd of December. That notice has the correct Zoom address and is addressed to the Smart Street address as set forth in the file. That address is tied to the defendant. Counsel for Discover Bank, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jeffrey Beers, P41693 on behalf of Plaintiff Discover.
All right, thank you, Mr. Veras, and good morning to you, sir. I am looking for defendant Al Bahani, living on Smart Street in Detroit. The matter is set for 10/25/10/27 now. And the information went to the correct Zoom address. Defendant has not otherwise responded. For that reason, I'm going to go ahead and grant the petition for entry of the judgment by default. I do have a proposed judgment. I am signing that judgment now. It allows for damages at $2,000. Total judgment, I should indicate, at $2,307.96. Judgment is now. All right, good day, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
I'm assuming no one is here for Mark Papp.
This is case number 21-151-577. This is TD Bank USA versus Mark Papp of PAPP. Matter is before the court on an application for entry of judgment by default. The record should reflect that the default of defendant was entered in this matter on the 3rd of December when defendant failed to respond to the complaint or otherwise defend in this matter. The court, moreover, set the matter on for hearing on today's date for a determination as to whether the judgment should enter at this time. Your appearance, counsel.
Good morning, Your Honor. For the record, William Saloom, P41487, appearing on behalf of plaintiff TD Bank.
All right, thank you, sir, and good morning to you. I am looking now for Mark Papp, please. Mr. Papp, if you're on this Zoom anywhere, please say something at this time. It appears now that where this matter is set for 10:30, it is after that time now. The defendant has not appeared in this matter and did not, as previously stated, appear or defend in the underlying matter. Accordingly, now the court will enter the judgment by default on the terms as prayed. I have received a copy of the proposed judgment. That judgment will now be entered for $962.11. I am signing the order at this time. Counsel, you'll receive a copy by mail, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day, Judge.
Likewise to you. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
You did, oh, yeah, you put it. That's the one we're looking for. You got it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So it's not a part of the case.
No, it's not. Oh, there's another attorney. Who's she?
Sorry.
She's up there in that. That was the last one, Pat.
No, that was previous. No, she, what was there now? I haven't called her.
Oh, you have to, oh, okay, all right, I thought
It's not your time. This is case number 21-043. This is Midland Credit Management versus Brady Brooks. The matter is before the court on an application for entry of default judgment. The record should reflect that the default of the defendant was entered on the 3rd of December 2021, when the defendant failed to respond to the complaint or otherwise defend in this matter. The court on that date did set a hearing for today's date to determine whether or not the judge should enter. A notice was sent to the defendant in this matter with the correct Zoom address. Madam Counsel, your appearance for Midland at this time, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. For the record, Stephanie Petway, P64543, appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
Thank you, Ms. Petway. Good morning to you, ma'am. I have, let me call now for Brandon Brooks. Doesn't look like he's here. Brandon Brooks of Ohio Street. If you're on the Zoom anywhere, please say something at this time. This matter, of course, is set on for 10:35. It's 10:38 now. The defendant has not appeared, has not otherwise responded to the court's call. Accordingly, I will enter the judgment now by default on the terms as prayed. I have received a copy of the judgment. The judgment will enter for the total amount of $1,946.03, and I'm signing that order at this time, Counsel. We'll get that out in the mail to you right away.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
Likewise.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
This is case number 19-158-988. This is Unifund CCR LLC versus Kenneth Harrison. The matter is before the court on an application for entry of judgment by default. The record should reflect the court did enter a default in this matter on the 3rd of December 2021. When the defendant failed to timely respond to the complaint or otherwise in this matter. The court set today's hearing by way of notice, and the notice was sent to the defendant's address with the correct Zoom number as the court has reviewed this matter, setting the matter on for hearing at 10:40 a.m. Counsel, your appearance for Unifund CCR, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Bader representing Unifund.
All right, just put your P number on for the record, sir.
P67307, Judge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bader, and good morning to you, sir. I've looked over this matter, and I'm calling now for Kenneth Harrison. It doesn't appear that he's on this. So, Mr. Harrison, if you're there anywhere, person living on West Allen Drive in Detroit, if you're there, please say something at this time. It appearing now that the defendant has not appeared, has not otherwise responded to the complaint and or this hearing, the court will now enter the judgment by default on the terms as prayed in the complaint I have received a copy of your proposed judgment. So judgment we're in for the total amount of $650.56. I am signing the order at this time. And sir, you'll be sent a copy by way of mail. Good day to you, Mr. David.
Thank you, Judge. Good day to you. Bye-bye now.